Thank you, my friends. Tonight, we made history. In the words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it is done. My friends, we have done it. I will be your Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City. An hour ago, I spoke with Andrew Cuomo about the need to bring this city, together, as he called me to concede the race.
Yo, he quit? He actually quit.
And I want to thank Brad Lander.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Brad is a good dude, bro. See? Look how much praise he's getting. Look how much fucking praise he's getting. Everybody always says, like, leftists are fucking Bernie bros are fucking annoying, blah, 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 all this shit. He did the fucking honorable thing. He defended Zohran through and through.
One of partnership and of sincerity.
Let's go. There we go.
Today, 8 months after launching this campaign, with the vision of a city that every New Yorker could afford, we have won. We have won from Harlem to Bay Ridge. We have won from Jackson Heights to Port Richmond. We have won from Maspeth to Chinatown. We have won because New Yorkers have stood up for a city they can afford. A city where they can do more than just struggle. One where those who toil in the night can enjoy the fruits of their labor in the day. Where hard work is repaid with a stable life. Where 8 hours on the factory floor or behind the wheel of a cab is enough to pay the mortgage. It is enough to keep the lights on. It is enough to send your kid to school. Where rent-stabilized apartments are actually stabilized. Where buses are fast and free. Where childcare doesn't cost more than CUNY. And where public safety keeps us truly safe. And it's where the mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism. To stop mass ICE agents from deporting our neighbors, and to govern our city as a model for the Democratic Party. A party where we fight for working people with no apology. A life of dignity should not be reserved for a fortunate few. It should be one that city government guarantees for each and every New Yorker. If this campaign has demonstrated anything to the world, it is that our dreams can become reality. Dreaming demands hope. And when I think of hope, I think of the unprecedented coalition of New Yorkers that we have built. For this is not my victory. This is ours.
Yeah, he's my age, yeah. We're both 33.
It is.
Look at how accomplished he is as a 33-year-old. And then look at me, a fucking loser.
Who knocked on door after door until her feet throbbed and her knuckles ached. It is the victory of the 18-year-old who voted in their first ever election. And it is the victory of the Gambian uncle who finally saw himself and his struggle in a... Dreaming demands solidarity.
Okay, this audio is better. You were right.
And when I look out at this room and out onto the midnight skyline...
Yeah, this man had a rap career,
that is what I
has
see.
a wife, mayor of New York.
Canvas launches that continued
I'm
in
a
the
fucking
pouring
loser.
rain. Children who called parents, strangers
Are we
who
getting
care
brigaded?
about those they
What do
will
you mean,
never
why?
meet. A New York that believes in each other and in itself. This is solidarity, and it defines our victory. And above all, dreaming demands work. Last Friday night, as the sun began to drop in the sky, I set off on a 13-mile walk from the northernmost tip of Manhattan to the base of the island. We began in Inwood, where music played and neighbors set out dominoes on the sidewalk. It was 7 p.m. The weekend had arrived. For most people, the time for work was over. But this is New York, where the work never ends. Waiters carried plates on 181st Street. Conductors drove the subways that rattled high above 125th. And world-class musicians tuned instruments as we passed Lincoln Square. By the time we made it downtown, a crowd marched behind us, a living embodiment of the energy and purpose that defines this campaign. Still, long past midnight, New York worked. Garbage trucks weaved through empty streets. Fishmongers carried in tomorrow's wares. And when we finally arrived at the Battery at 2:20 a.m. in the morning, the workers who run the Staten Island Ferry were on the job too. Just as they are every hour of the day, every day of the week. Each of these New Yorkers carried a dream with them that night as they labored. Just as each of us dreams of a New York that is more hopeful and affordable for all. And we have worked hard for our dream. This has been a historically contentious race. One that has filled our airwaves with millions in smears and slander. I hope now that this primary has come to an end. I can introduce myself once more. as you've seen me in a 30-second ad or in a mailer in your mailbox, but as how I will lead as your mayor. I will be the mayor for every New Yorker. Whether you voted for me, for Governor Cuomo, or felt too disillusioned by a long, broken political system to vote at all, I will fight for a city that works for you, that is affordable for you, that is safe for you. I will work to be a mayor you will be proud to call your own. I cannot promise that you will always agree with me, but I will never hide from you. If you are hurting, I will try to heal. If you feel misunderstood, I will strive to understand. Your concerns will always be mine, and I will put your hopes before my own. And I know that those hopes extend beyond our 5 boroughs. There are millions of New Yorkers who have strong feelings about what happens overseas. I am one of them. And while I will not abandon my beliefs or my commitments, grounded in a demand for equality, for humanity, for all those who walk this earth, you have my word to reach further, to understand the perspectives of those with whom I disagree, and to wrestle deeply with those disagreements. Let me close with this. In these dark times, I know that it is harder than ever to keep faith in our democracy. It has been attacked by billionaires and their big spending, by elected officials who care more about self-enrichment than the public trust, and by authoritarian leaders who rule through fear. But above all, our democracy has been attacked from within. For too long, New Yorkers have strained to find a leader who represents us, who puts us first. And we have been betrayed time and again. After so many disappointments, the heart hardens, belief becomes elusive. And when we no longer believe in our democracy, it only becomes easier for people like Donald Trump to convince us of his worth. For billionaires to convince us that they must always lead. As FDR said, democracy has disappeared in several other great nations. Not because the people disliked democracy, but because they had grown tired of unemployment and insecurity, of seeing their children hungry while they sat helpless in the face of government confusion and weakness. In desperation, they chose to sacrifice liberty in the hope of getting something to eat. New York, if we have made one thing clear over these past months, it is that we need not choose between the two. We can be free and we can be fed. We can demand what we deserve. And together we have built a movement where everyday New Yorkers recognize themselves in our vision of democracy. Every new voter registered, that is faith renewed. Every voter who traveled through withering heat to the polls, that is faith renewed. And every New Yorker who sees solutions to the daily challenges they face in this campaign, that is faith renewed. Together, New York, we have renewed our democracy. We have given our city permission to believe again. And I pledge to you that we will remake this great city not in my image, but in the image of every New Yorker who has only known struggle.
Wait, Kathy Hochul deleted her post?
In our New York, the power belongs to the people.
No way. It's the other account, I suspect. It's got to be the other account.
The people
No,
that
it's
are
probably
here
her
with
other
me
account.
today.
They all have two accounts.
And as I thank the incredible leaders who have long fought for those people, who are here across 5 boroughs and standing next to me in the Attorney General of this
it's
state,
her other account.
in the public advocate of this city, in our Congresswoman,
hit it on the
Lydia
private.
Velasquez,
She hit it
in
on
our
the private.
Controller, Brad Lander, and in every single person who believed in this campaign long before it was easy to do so. And you believed when it was difficult. We dreamt in the night, and we are now building in the dawn. That new day, the one that we have yearned for, the one that we have struggled for, the one that we have knocked for, have texted for, have called for, the one that we have obsessed over. That new day is finally here, my friends. And it is here because you have delivered it. Thank you.
Wow. Like I said, it still doesn't feel real, but also on top of that, it not only doesn't feel real, but it also feels like there's so much more work to be done. I'm still so worried about the fucking general. You know, our work is not done, chat. You must remain vigilant. It's good.
And as I thank you,
It's good to you know,
I must
have
thank
a
those
dose of hope
who brought
and
me into this
optimism,
world.
but we must remain vigilant.
I must thank my mother and my father, Mira and Mahmoud, and I must thank
Yeah, that's true. 4 years ago, he was just a part of a Gravel Institute
and
video
I must thank my incredible
talking
wife,
about Austrian-style socialist housing. Look at where he's at now.
Duaji.
This is Mahmoud Mamdani's book, The CIA and the Factory of Islamist Terrorism.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now let us lead this city into one that is affordable for each and every New Yorker.
Dude, what a fucking... What a night, what a night, what a night, what a night. Oh my God, I cannot wait to fucking watch everyone coping and seething. Oh my God. There's still so much work to be done, like I said. So much fucking work to be done. How far you came? Yeah, look. This is fucking 4 years ago.
Even before the pandemic, in places like New York,
Look at
or Los
us.
Angeles or San
Look at
Francisco,
us.
median rents for
This is before I knew who the fuck
apartments
Zohran Mamdani even was, really. I
$2,500
just
a
thought he was just some
month or
random
more.
guy on a
About
Gravel
third of people
video.
in Los Angeles spend a majority of their income on housing. In New York City, about 20% of all renters pay most of their income to their landlord.
Look at that.
And in my district, Astoria, about a quarter of residents have to spend most of their paycheck on rent. And the crisis isn't just in big cities. In 95% of all US counties, workers making the minimum don't make enough to afford a one-bedroom rental on their own. The Harvard Center for Housing Studies warns of a new normal for housing in the United States, in which nearly half of all renter households spend almost
It's crazy.